Hello, hello everyone. Hello, hello. Thank you for joining. So today I wanted to talk about creating memorable experiences with your client gifting. The gift experience that you create makes an impression. The gift that you create it makes an impression on your clients, right? So you have to ask yourself, what impression do you want to give your clients? Now, that gift that you create and give to your clients also create an emotion for your clients. It generates emotion for them. So you also have to ask yourself, what emotion do you want them to have? This is the experience. This is how your client experience your gift. And the same way that you create an experience on their wedding day um, is, you know, what you want to create, is the experience that you want to create um, in order to give a memorable gifting experience, right? Let me say that again because it didn't come out right. So, the same way you create experiences on this special day, you want to create experiences that are memorable for their gifting, right? So, for those who are new around here, my name is Amy Cole. I am the owner of Creatively Memorable. And Creatively Memorable is a gift concierge that creates custom and curated gifts for wedding industry, corporate, professionals, and for couples. Okay, so let's talk about gifting experiences. Now, there are three things that I believe you should consider when creating a gifting experience for your clients. But first, I want to talk about the possible types of gifting experiences that you will need to keep in mind. And this is important, right? Because remember, we talked about get your gift make an impression, like the gifts you send your clients, they make an impression on them, and they also generate an emotion. So the first of the three primary gifting experiences that your client will have when they receive your gift is forgettable. I bet you weren't thinking about that one. But it is very possible for your client to completely forget about the gift, right? Um, that's basically the experience that they would have. They can't remember the gift to save their lives. Now, the second experience is a just okay experience, meaning that it's not that the gift was not that good and it was not that bad. So, they remember something about the gift, but they didn't completely forget it. Now, the third experience is the one that we want them to have. We want them to have an unforgettable gifting experience, one that is memorable. And this experience is the one that brings surprise and delight to your clients. So, now let's talk about creating the experience. And I think to create the experience, you have to consider these three things in your gifting process. So when you're thinking about the gifts that you want to create, when you want to send the gifts, these are the things that I think you should consider. The first thing that you will want to consider is what impression you want to leave and what emotion you want them to feel. So the impression, do you want, it's about your brand, right? It's about how they see you as, a brand and likely as a person, right? How do you want them to think of you? And what emotion do you want them to feel? Do you want them to think of you as the company that they really want to work with, or they're happy to be working with? Do you want them to have the impression that you are a company of integrity? Do you want them to have an impression of, you know, that your brand is one that communicates well or something? I don't know what impression you want them to have, but whatever impression you want them to have, you want to consider that in your gifting process, right? Because it is part of the experience that you will give them. Then like I said, what emotion do you want them to feel? Do you want them to be happy? Do you want them to be excited to work with you? What emotion? Do you want them to be surprised? Do you want them to be delighted? What do you want them to feel? Right. And so the second thing that I think that you should consider, that you should consider in your gifting process is their likes and their wants. Now, ideally, this would be based on your ideal client. You may not want to create custom gifts for every client. I'm not sure that will be the most effective use of your time. But you may not want to try to sit and think of custom gifts for every touch point that you want to have with your client. So based on that, you want to take a look at the clients that you have served, right? If you don't have an ideal client written down, and I know that they call them different names like avatars and things like that, but if you don't have an ideal client written down, or you haven't discovered who that ideal client is, then you want to look at the clients that you have served already and see what is common about them. What do they have in common? What things do they typically like? You'll be able to start to see the patterns in the clients that you serve, and you want to take those patterns and you want to write those down, and you want to consider them in your gifting process. Now, obviously, I know when I worked with my wedding planner, we got to know the wedding planner got to know us very well, and got to know our likes and our wants, what we did not like, what our style was, and just kind of bringing that all into his process of kind of deciding what vendors he should present to us, what vendors were more along our style and things like that. So you have this information. This is information that you should use in your gifting process. And like I said, you want to be able to leave a good impression, and knowing their likes and wants will help you choose items that will that they will, one, help you choose items that are usable to them, but two, help you choose items that they both like and they want, um, and that they would be delighted to receive. So you want to keep those things in mind. And that leads back to the impression and how they will feel about the gift, right? So if you've given them something that they both like and want, that they think is useful, and that they were delighted to receive, what do you think? What impression do you think that they're going to have about you or your brand? What impression or how do you think that they're going to feel after receiving the gift, right? So that's why I say you want to be sure that you consider their likes and their wants. So then the last thing I think you should consider, not necessarily the last, but the third thing, right? The third thing I think that you should consider would be the gift presentation. Now, how you present your gift to your client, the gift to your client is key, right? Creating a beautiful gift presentation helps to bring the story that you're trying to tell to life. Right. It creates, I think it's something that you already know how to do effortlessly, right? You already create beautiful presentations for your client on their wedding day. And you want to, this is something that you want to bring into your gifting process, that same thought process of creating that experience for your clients on their wedding day. You want to bring in that same process of creating experience through the gifting. So, um, yeah. So with the gifts presentation, it is the last thing that we do, but it's the first thing that they see. So that's why it is key to make sure that the presentation you give is a beautiful one. You want to create a beautiful gift presentation. So I think these are three of the things that you should consider. Those things help create the experience around the gift. So, you want them to be wowed from the time that they open the package to the time that they look at the very last item in the gift. All right. And I think I got some comments here. So let me put on my glasses. I'm late, but I'm here. Thank you. Thank you for joining. It's going to be up so you can watch it a little bit later, but I'm glad you joined. Let's see. They better be happy that I put in the work to get the gift. Oh, goodness. I'm sure they will be surprised. But like I said last week, they may not be delighted, even if you put in a lot of work. A lot of times we feel like we put in so much work into the gift, but if we don't consider the things that, I spoke of earlier, they'll be surprised, but they might not be delighted. And so what we're going for is surprise and delight in these gifts that we're creating for our clients, right? So that's all that I have for today. I think that if you know if you want to get notifications about when I go live, about when I post um, to this channel, then you want to ring that bell, you want to subscribe, um, so that you can get those notifications and you know exactly when I'm going live. Typically, I try to put up the live. I try to schedule it ahead of time so that people know that I'm gonna go live that day and what time. Um, but you can definitely subscribe so that you are made aware. And yeah, that's all that I have for today. So if there are no more questions, I think I answered the questions that I saw. If there are no more questions, then I think that's it. I will see you all next week. Until then, happy gifting and many blessings. Bye, y'all.